Scattergrams are one of the great tools to really compare properties and let you see the true pricing factor effect of homes that have sold in your neighborhood or area. But sometimes when you see a graph like this, there's not enough clarity to truly understand what's going on in the properties that might be close to your subject property or outliers like this dot down here. One of the great ways to do this is to add text boxes and really manipulate them so you can see clearly what's going on. Now, we've had a lot of questions about text boxes in general, how to add them, how to change what's inside, and in many cases how to move them because they get a little finicky at times. So let's walk through the process of adding text boxes, augmenting them, and then also moving them so that you can see clearly. So first, let's talk about this property here. Now this property, as you can see, if I go ahead and hover my mouse over the dot, a little label pops up that shows it is at 2082 and 291 is what it's sold at. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to our pricing data, which I can click the pricing button up here, click the MLS data tab down at the bottom. So this here being our MLS data sheet, we're going to go ahead and just find that 2882 total square feet right here. Again, this is the house that's sold for 291, and we're going to want to add a checkbox to this empty box here that adds the text box to this scattergram. Now we can do this in two ways. We can right click, simply toggle this on or off, or with this selected, go ahead and click select properties at the top. Once we've done that, we're ready to create a new graph with that text box on there. So we're going to do that by clicking create graph, and then under this, create graph again, and go ahead and just click create scattergram graph, and here we are right here with a text box added. Now you might see this overlapping the bottom border here, and this gets to the first question of how do I move this box? Many people click in here and try and move it right off the bat, and that's all that happens. The reason why is because you have two things selected now, and that's just kind of the way that Excel works. So what we need to do first is click once, and you'll see the little blue dots. But now you see everything out here is still selected. We're going to click a second time on the line, and now you see that it's the white squares. Now it's ready to move. Okay. Now to move this, we want to have the 4 arrows showing. If I do anything else, like in this, I'm clicking inside the box. If I have the non-4 arrows showing, it won't go ahead and move. What it'll end up doing is, let's see if I can just get this, expand the box vertically, horizontally, or anything like that. What we want is the 4 arrows because that's going to let us go ahead and move this wherever we want. So I'm going to move this. Let's just move this over here. And you can see a line is attached from the box down to the dot. Simple as that. So that's creating and moving your text boxes. Now to change anything inside this, we can do this two kind of main ways. The first way, and this is one thing that you will probably end up doing for clear outliers like this, you're going to click again twice to open it up, and then you'll see the cursor option here, which we can go ahead and type whatever we want. Okay, for example, this might have been a short sale. Oops. Short sale. So we're going to go ahead and highlight that so that we make sure we can note why this was so far below line. Another way you can change what is automatically put in here is back on the creating the graph options. So you go to the pricing section and click create graph options, create graph, and this box when it shows up, this side on the right will tell us what we're going to be including in that. So let's say just to make easy looking up for old MLS sheets we're attaching. I'm going to click MLS number, the address, the style, the size of the lot. We're going to do total square feet on the graph and finished square feet, and these bedrooms, bathrooms, garages, and the year built. So we'll leave all that on there. Now when we create the graph, we'll have the option here of replacing the graph that we just made or keeping both. I'll keep both to show you the difference. This text box now has a little bit extra information because I added the MLS. Now again, to move this, click once, click twice, and we want the 4 arrows, dragging this right up here. And let's go ahead and add that extra information again. So as simple as that, we can go ahead and add the text box, move it around, and change any of the text inside. Now you might say, okay, but what if it gets busier? Well, let's go ahead and do that. Coming back to here, let's go ahead and grab every total square foot that is around that same amount. I'm going to go ahead and click on this spot here this time. Click select properties, and as you can see, the toggle boxes is also turned on. Let's just grab this one, that's pretty close. That one's pretty close, and we'll say that one as well. Okay, so again, clicking select properties in this case, just for a quicker shorthand, so I don't have to navigate over here. Just go ahead and click that spot, select properties. Now you can see that there's a number of boxes checked under the add text box to Scattergram property. So this time when we create graph, and go ahead and create graph here. We'll keep both again. Now we'll see tons of text boxes. Now this is where it gets really key to start moving these things. Okay, obviously they're overlapping, it's really hard to understand. So we're gonna click once, click twice for the 4 arrows, move this over here. Now once you have one of these selected, it gets a lot easier, by the way, because this is all white. I can then go ahead and just click and move these over because the 4 arrows are automatically the first option selected. Okay, let's go and move these guys, this guy, and this guy. Oops, I moved this a little bit in the wrong spot. Again, it's not too hard to move these around once you kind of get the hang of it. Just truly understanding what is going on in the area, allowing you to get a clearer indication of where these dots are going to. Now you might say, okay, this is super busy, I can't see all this. You're right. And that's why we don't like adding all the text boxes. If you added a text box you didn't need, and this thing just, this thing doesn't have anywhere to go. Let's say we're looking at a house that is about 2,800 square feet. This square footage is at 3,000. It's a little bit out here as opposed to some of the other ones. If you don't really have anything to do with it, you can always just go ahead and hit delete and get rid of it very easily. You don't have to go back to the data sheet. You can just do that. So let's go ahead and move this guy just a little bit clearer. Again, a little longer line, but that way a little more space. And now we move the text boxes around in a way we can go ahead and see everything. So, simple as that. You can select them to add text boxes. You can move them around. And again, if you want here, and then we just decide we didn't need these ones, click twice, 4 arrows, the white boxes, and go ahead and get rid of that. Hopefully this video helps you manipulate text boxes as you need to truly illustrate what's going on and really help you use them in a way that makes clear what's the deciding factor when it comes to pricing factors that's providing value. So that you can find that like property, move along this trend line accordingly, and get a good base price to move forward in the pricing process.